We want Oklahoma to be the most pro-life state in the country. We want to outlaw abortion in the state of Oklahoma.
What's really remarkable about Oklahoma is that these laws just keep coming. This is a total abortion ban that has taken effect immediately. It does have exceptions for rape and incest, unlike many of the other bans that we've seen passed. But you have to report that, instance of rape or incest to the police. So it's sort of unclear how widely that would be used. This is the first time since Roe that a state has successfully banned abortion and have that ban take effect before it's been blocked by the courts. And the reason they've been able to do this in Oklahoma with this particular piece of legislation is twofold. First, it has an emergency clause on it, which meant it would take effect as soon as the governor signed it. And second, it follows the model of the Texas ban, which means that it empowers private citizens to be the ones to enforce the law. So private citizens, anybody really can file a lawsuit against anyone who violates this law in Oklahoma. They could target doctors, really anybody who helps facilitate an illegal abortion in Oklahoma. We know that Texas law has been extremely difficult to challenge in court. So Oklahoma lawmakers were eyeing Texas and thinking to themselves, it's working there, we should do the same thing here. It's been a really difficult time for Oklahoma abortion providers because it's not just this law. They, a few weeks ago, had to contend with a 6-week ban that also followed the Texas enforcement mechanism. And so they've been constantly having to anticipate these new regulations and break the news to patients. I think that has been the hardest part, have been these calls that they have to make as these bills are sent to the governor and they're getting ready for the governor to sign it. These providers have to make calls to patients who are on their way. Many of them have been coming from Texas in the past few months. Since the Texas law took effect, they've had to call and say, I'm really sorry, but I think you need to turn around because by the time you get here, we won't be able to do abortions after 6 weeks. And now with this new law, they can't do abortions at all. So many states have these trigger laws in place that would essentially do the same thing that Oklahoma has done. They're all poised and ready to do that as soon as the Supreme Court overturns Roe. It's 13 states who would enact this kind of legislation that would be a total ban. So Oklahoma is certainly getting a leg up on it because they are using this, unique Texas-style enforcement mechanism that allows them to do this while Roe still stands. But you've got over a dozen states really waiting in the wings, totally ready to do the exact same thing as soon as this decision comes down.